Welcome back. Today we're back in the garage and finally getting around to working on the 88 Monte Carlo again. Now, if you guys are familiar with the 80s GM products or even Fords or Chryslers, any of them like that, there's a few things through the 80s that the manufacturers were known for, and one was bad paint. They were doing a lot of different experimenting with different things, and the paint just did not hold up, especially on the darker color cars like this one. And if you watched the other video, you saw that I used the Pappy's Patina clear coat, wiped it on, sprayed it on, did everything like that. And it wasn't so much to preserve the patina on it, but I was hoping that it would help fill in all the cracks and everything, and maybe that type of product would be a little more flexible so it wouldn't re-crack again. It did hold up pretty good. It's been about a year now. I do need to do a little bit more paint correction on it, on the clear coat, which is a lot more sanding and smooth it out. I do have quite a few different runs in it. So I need to correct that, and that will be coming in an upcoming video here when I get a little bit more time. Other things that the 80s cars, GM in particular, are known for is the AC not working. And again, ordered the parts for that, and I will be going through and replacing the evaporator core, the dryer on that. I already did the compressor, so there's not too much left on it besides the condenser, but I'm going to leave that for last because that's probably one of the easier things to change. So I'm going to try it with the evaporator and the dryer, kind of one unit, and see if the AC is working. I did a leak down test, which, let me grab the tool over here. With one of these, and there's lots of videos on YouTube to show you how to use it, but basically you turn it on and it detects where gas is leaking, and from what I could find, it was coming from the evaporator. Kind of just probed up around the drain tube where the evaporator is after throwing a can of R134 in it, and this thing started beeping like crazy there. So I assume it's the evaporator then, so that's where I'm going to start with. And also I ran dyes through it. I brought it into shops, they ran dyes through it, could not find anywhere else that it was leaking from. The dye didn't show up anywhere, so most likely it's in that AC box, the heater box there, where the heater core and the evaporator is. So that's why I bought one of these from Harbor Freight. Figured give it a try, and so far I think that's the culprit of why the AC won't hold the charge. It'll charge up, sometimes it'll hold it for a while, other times it will be gone within 15 minutes, so who knows. But ordered the stuff from Rock Auto, everything was fairly cheap, it was under $100 for everything. And then lastly, with the Monte Carlos, the G-bodies, everything like that, known for their headliner sagging. So in this video, just ordered the new headliner for it, and it showed up today. Ordered from Mike's Montes, and now one of the problems with the headliners is that the original headliner is on a cardboard back headliner, and it absorbs moisture, and the glue is let loose. Foam deteriorates, and then the color of the fabric lets loose from the foam and it starts sagging. So I also had a Monte Carlo prior to this, and what I did, I just went to the fabric store and bought headliner material, pulled out the factory board, stripped the headliner off of it, resprayed, put it on. It was actually really cost effective, so that's one way to go. The reason why I went with this board, this is like an ABS backboard, so it's plastic, so it will not absorb with the moisture. And this car is a lot better shape than the other one, so I wouldn't spend a little bit more money just to get it done with and to be done with it once and for all. Because the other headliners that I did on the Monte Carlo I didn't have a problem with, but I did it on a Jeep Cherokee SJ, so the original Jeep Cherokee is the full size, and that headliner again absorbed moisture, did something, and the headliner did not last. In the Monte Carlo it did, but in the Cherokee it did not. Also, the cardboard, they do get brittle with time. And when I pulled out the cardboard in the other Monte Carlo, the corners up by the visors, they're just real thin where there's a hole cut right here, real thin, and they had a tendency to break. So since I want this car to be, you know, I mean, it's rust free and it's clean, I want to do it right and spend the money on this. I think I can get the material I can for like less than 20 bucks plus the sprays and everything. This one cost me around $200, and actually the shipping is what killed me. It was like another $100 just to ship the thing to me. But I think when it's all said and done, it'll be worth it. It won't have staples all in. So enough with that. Let's get in here and start pulling the old headliner apart. Also, when I ordered this, I did order the clips that go around and hold the trim in. Because I remember when I did it before, and when I say I did this before, this was like 25 years ago. I do remember some of them wanting to break, so these in this car are just that much older, so I just anticipated it, so if they would break, at least I'd have everything, so. But, alright, well, let's get in here and get working. Okay, and as you can see, this is very common sight to see on these 80 G bodies is the stapled headliner. That was a aftermarket option, not a factory ordeal. And of course, where would it say? Because that side's fine, but right above the driver's head. So what I'm going to do first is pull out the visors, which will be just the 3 screws there. Now when you pull these screws out of anywhere in the trim, make sure you keep it with whatever trim piece, or you know, label it, mark it, do anything like that, because the screws are a lot of them are a different length or size, so you don't want to oversize the hole that the screw needs to go in, so then it's stripped out. And then also you don't want to run it too long a screw into the roof here, which I don't know if any of them are going to be long enough, but you could come up and you could dimple the roof skin up here, so and then you're stuck with that. So in the process of trying to make something better, you make something else worse. Okay, now we'll put this together. And there's a passenger side one. No optional beauty mirror on that side. And this is what I want to show you guys. So this screw is off the trim piece in the back. This one is off the trim piece in the front. But you don't want to get them mixed up, because if I run this actually into the front here for the visors, probably long enough that it would actually hit that roof panel. So you want to be careful. And then these are plastic. This is a tin, and these just snap on. So I just pull them off a little from the front here, and then it should just slide forward. There's 3 clips. Or not. There we go. And then slide it back. And you can see there's a groove on both sides, and they go on it. These look good. I'm gonna slide these off too, just to get them out of the way so I don't break anything. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Okay, I want to show you guys here. That's where the map light comes up, and the dome light wires. You can see where the trim pieces screw in there. One there, and that's actually nothing down there, so not sure
you can see where it was made for one, but there was never one ever put in there, so they didn't do anything with that. But the trim piece fits over it there and holds everything into place. And then in the back, I just left the bottom one in, because actually to pull everything off, the door sill plates, all that would have to be, and I'm hoping that I can just flex this around enough. I probably will have to pull that one out. But, and then here are the clips. So if you need to order any, I haven't even looked at the ones that came, but everything I've ordered from Mike's Montes have seemed to be pretty good. So he's knowledgeable on them. So, but you can see where these are not fully tightened all the way down, so they are movable a little bit. But then the headliner just sits into place right in there. I got the rear trim off that goes along the rear of the headliner here, and here are the clips, just so you guys can see. They attach each side of the trim piece, and you want to be careful and go slow when you go through this so you don't bend this tin up, but you can pull it down somewhat and then push on with a screwdriver to push the tabs in, because they go, let's see, right up into spots like that. There's one in the middle. So you can see this one actually had one broken off already, which I did not do. So once I pull the headliner down, I don't know if it's going to be up in that channel back there or not, but, and then when you go to put the new ones in, there are little marks right where to initially line them up for the three of them. Now I'm going to work my way around to the passenger side, get those all out, and then the last thing that'll be coming out is the dome light, the map light up here, because that kind of does the majority of holding the headliner into place once I got everything out, so it don't come crashing down on me. Which, I mean, some of these areas will still be held in place, but that just kind of pulls down a little bit to get it out. But you can see, I mean, how the foam is just bad, where it just does not spring back anymore. A little bit better look at all the staples and everything. And like I said, of course, driver's side, passenger side. That's the side that would fall down first, so. But keep on trugging along. It's about 85 degrees in this garage, probably 95 in this car now, the lights on and everything. But we'll keep going. It's raining outside, nothing else to do. Now I'm over on the passenger side, and what I wanted to share is to get this trim off. What I found is pull it as far as forward as it can go, so you can release it from the back panel, and then slide it back as far as you can, and then you actually push outward, and then it releases this side of the trim. So now that side's all loose. As soon as I pushed it through, and then you can kind of work it and pull it back, and then slide it off. But when you push it, it releases from this side, because then when you go to put it back on, and you'll clip it on that side, because that's the bigger tab, and then you just push, and it'll just snap into place over, and you can see, sorry about the shadows, but you can see where it's tapered, where it's made to slide on. Okay, and again, to get these off, you just lift upward, and they will snap out of place once you get the screws off. And here we see again, no screw in that bottom panel. So it's all made to be held in by this one. And then now I'll work on this front part. Getting the front piece down, and you can see that the clips are like the ones different than the back ones, but like the new ones that I showed you, where you can just push on these tabs to get them put out. But stuck up in here, so I'm not sure. It looks like there's some they must have replaced this windshield at some point, and looks like some of the butyl tape is kind of holding it up there, so I'll have to go around and get that pulled out. But there are 3 clips. One in the middle, one on the left side that holds this up. And that is it. Comes out pretty easy. Let's see if I can get this into focus here. But there'll be 2 screws, one right here and one right there that holds this up. And then it has these like push clips that go on. And remember how I said when I did the headliner on the 81 and how these corners like to break? And you can see, well, look at my pants, where the headliner is just, I mean, just deteriorating and falling apart. So no saving this one. So going with the ABS backboard was the right choice this time, and not trying to cheap out and actually end up spending more money, because I couldn't have reused this board probably, nor would I have wanted to. Hey, I got updates. I ended up pulling out the retainers, the 3 of them that go along there, so I don't have to try to fight with pulling this over. And I am pulling out the upper ones for a couple of reasons. That I'm not gonna have to fight with the seatbelt anymore being in the way, and then I'll be able to get a little bit more movement out of this panel, I hope, with it out of the way, just so it's not such a fight to get the new one in either. So right now I'm just gonna pull these out, and to get these out you can just reach behind here. There's 2 little tabs with your fingers. Just push up on them, and well, you see, pops out so fast I didn't even see where it went, but there it is there. A little bit better lighting maybe, just the tabs that need to push up, and then the top just slides over the bolt, which that should be a T50, so I'm going to pull those out now. Got the headliner out, and well, as you can see here, not a clean job by any means. And of course, I just vacuumed the car out. But there's the roof. So now we move on to, and you can see where the corners did not survive, and neither did that side right there. And you can see where I was grabbing it and how it was just falling apart. That's some kind of date code or something like that there. And then with the new headliner, right here is a cutout, which is that part. So what I'll do is I'll measure and make a cut just to make sure, because I don't want to go over a little bit too far and then have it exposed. So I might just do a little cut just to be able to fish that light through. And then once I kind of get it all mounted up and get an impression, and then go there and trim that all out. Or just leave it. Now also, there's the sound deadener panels that obviously we're not doing a whole lot up there. So before I put the new headliner in, I might order some sound deadener and put in there. I don't think I have any left. Breaking news. More updates here. When I looked through my hoard, and I found that I do have some Rockville Dynamat stuff. So I have enough to do the roof in here. Okay, again, it doesn't need to cover everything. I mean, that's all they had up there. I'll probably put a little bit more than that up. And then on top of that, I am going to put some of this Dyna liner on. And basically it's this stuff here. I mean, it's thin. because it is on the roof. I don't want to use the heavier stuff, but it will just try to hopefully kill some of the noise, because I do notice with the vinyl top cars, they are a little quieter just because you get that padding in there, and it adds something. I mean, take it. If I get caught in rain or something like that, it's going to be noisy because it's going to be tinging off that versus off the vinyl. But I got it, so why not? I got another box of it that I've had for 10 years, so we'll give it a try. And like they said, they recommend the thinner stuff for the roofs, just so the weight doesn't want to pull it down and take them off like that. So again, getting back to cleaning up, and then I can start going in the reverse direction and getting everything back together. Before I get any farther, I wanted to show you what I got going on here. It's a little hard to see, but there's Dynamat stuff. So, and again, the reason why I put on as much as I did, because with the tin backing, it actually, or the foil, it actually acts like a heat barrier too. So hopefully it'll make things a little bit more comfortable. And I put it on quite a bit of everything, just a little bit in the middle. And then again in the back, there is I put the Dynamat stuff up, and then the Rockville Rock Mat, or whatever they call it, the generic, the knockoff, the cheaper stuff. But specs are pretty close to the same. And then in the back is the Dyna liner on top of it. And when I got looking at the old headboard, or headliner, the board, the backside was foam back too, to act like a sound deadener. So actually putting this stuff up should make it pretty much like how it was before. And the reason why I put it on the ceiling versus the headliner is that the noise that's going in between the two hopefully will deaden it, but then I didn't want to put the extra weight on the headliner to help it, wanting to sag or anything. So I got the back all covered. I got one little piece there, and the front I'm doing right now. One thing I want to show you guys is the effects of the sound deadener by using it. Listen to this. Now listen to one that doesn't have anything, or minimum, or whatever GM put in there, I don't know. And one final time. Take it, I mean, a little bit there, but it does actually deaden a lot of the noise, so works pretty good. Okay, well, it says measure hole placement before cutting. Well, I laid the old headliner on top, and that's what I got. So it appears to be off a little bit. Now what I ended up doing is I did pull out the upper seat bolt there, and then I was able to really pull down that panel. I slid the headliner in down quite a ways, and then with doing that, I was able to get the headliner tucked in right in there without pulling that seatbelt bolt out. And then once I got that all propped up, I went around. The next step was putting the headliner clips in. I gotta put one more in there. And then even with measuring, it's still off a little bit. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit more work around there. But before I get too carried away with that, I'm gonna get everything buttoned up, all the trim in, all the snaps, so the headliner is where it needs to be, and then do the correction on those holes in there, and then it should be in. But so far it's looking pretty good, and well, anything that's not sagging. But car's getting older, things are allowed to sag a little bit, so, but that's how it's looking. I know it really don't look like much being this close. I'll show you more when I'm done. Now the order to put the trim back in, we got these headliner clips there, but first will be the front one. Do that one first. Then the pillar molding can go on, or the pillar trim here. And then the final one would be this one, right above the door. And we'll slide in the back here. It's a little hard to see, but this needs to slide underneath. So don't put those screws in because you'll need some wiggle room in there. And then, like I said, these will just clip on from the outside and then just snap up into place. Okay, and we got that one in, and when you go to put it in, there's some different pieces that come up from the lower trim, so you kind of have to fit everything in together and to work it so it just doesn't slide right in. And then this one, we will go and that has to slide onto a piece like just like that. And then in the back, we just gotta fish it through here. So we'll pull this one kind of out of the way, and then that will go in like that. And then, apologies for not having my tripod set up, but once we get this in, I'll need 2 hands for this. But once you get it in, and then you just push in and it just snaps. Okay, there is the new headliner, and you can see where it was sagging before. I'll just have to take a lint roller to it now and clean it off, but everything turned out pretty good, a lot better than before. And then with the back clips here, when I did snap those into place, they did pop out of the trim. So I ended up having to pull that back down again and slide them back in and pop everything back into place. And I did snap one of the new ones, so luckily I had extras. All in all done. Wasn't too bad. A few things that I want to just address is when you are installing the new headliner, make sure you mark where the coat hangers are, because on the driver's side I had one heck of a time finding it. Passenger side found it right away, but just as with the headlight or the dome light, they said to pre-measure. We'll do that with the coat hooks in the back, unless you decide not to even put them in, and also with the visors, kind of pay attention how that is. I did have to do more trimming around the visors, same with the coat hooks, but you only can trim so much because the surround on the visors and the coat hooks and everything like that only cover so much. So you gotta be careful with that. Also, when you pull off the visors, they only go on one way. Make sure you pay attention how they go. That took a long time trying to get those back in, just because it's very hard to see once you get up there to see exactly the screw holes are lining up. Actually, I ended up having to go back on the old one and looking at the imprint from the visor to see which way, what orientation they had to go. So, also with the dome light, measured, and those 2 little studs in the back, of course they didn't line up, so I had to drill a couple more holes to get those to line up. One other thing I noticed is when on this front trim piece, when I pulled it down, there was only 3 fasteners, clips to hold it up, but there's a spot for 5. So, not sure, again, when they replaced the windshield, did they get broke or not? I didn't use any of the new clips I got because I thought there was only 3 in there, but now it's not really sitting up in place exactly how I like it or think it should be. So I might be pulling that one back, but basically I've had enough for today, so that would be for another day. But all in all, wasn't that bad. I mean, I just took my time, and that's a big thing. All this stuff is old and brittle. Just take your time. Make sure you mark where the screws go, anything like that, and just pay attention, I guess. I'm
glad I took video of it because I had to go back and reference that a few times.
Well, I hope this video is going to be helpful to somebody when they try to tackle this job. I try to hit any of the big important stuff when I went through. Didn't do a whole lot of filming of me actually going through the process, but I went back and explained what I did. So again, if you have any questions, throw them down in the comments. I will answer them if I remember what I did here. I have a lot more videos going to be coming up on this car. Again, like I said, paint correction, AC work, different things like that.